Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today we're going to be doing some high-sec exploration in my hybrid Abyss Gila. This is the T4 Firestorm Gila that I've been using to farm T4s. The Firestorm variants. The Firestorm variants tend to be quite hard due to increased armor of the enemy ships and also reduction in thermal resist, which is quite essential to have a good thermal resist because like Concord, Triglavians, they'll all do a lot more damage since they do predominantly thermal. But this works really well in the T4 Firestorms, and I love it for that. But I also thought that maybe I'm going to do a little bit like the recent Confessor stuff I've been doing, where I have like a Confessor that can do Exploration in high sec, but also Abyss. And that's pretty much the same thing I've been doing with this Gila right here. Whenever I want to do the T4 Firestorm, which I've got some filaments here, I just switch out the Core Probe Launcher for this Drone Link Augmenter, and then when I want to do Exploration, I just have the Sister's Core Probe Launcher instead. So we're going to be doing this to actually do a DED 4 out of 10. I got a DED 4 out of 10, a Guristas Scout Outpost from a Guristas Hideaway, I believe it was, yesterday night actually, but I didn't have enough time to run it then. So now it's sort of like the midday morning type of the day. And we're going to be doing that. And the thing is that the Gila is naturally really strong, that even though I've got this thermal shield hardener, it'll be absolutely no problem tanking. But I could obviously, if I wanted to, put a kinetic shield hardener here instead, because it'll be very good when you're up against the, the Guristas. The thing is, I'm actually not going to focus this on doing Guristas DD hunting. I'm actually going to focus this on actually going for Serpentis hunting. I just think the Serpentis seem to be more an interesting type of faction to hunt than Guristas, because I feel like Guristas are so overfarmed. There's so many Guristas DD hunters out there. And I think that even the DED 4 out of 10s, they tend to drop a bit more loot than the Guristas 4 out of 10s. Just my experience with doing them, but it's very likely it's just an RNG thing as well, that I just happen to be lucky. But another thing is that it's also very good because they do thermal damage, so we have good thermal resistance with the thermal shield hardener, so we don't even have to refit this stuff. So I think that's really good. And generally speaking, Galenta, areas of space where you have the Serpentis, they tend to be less populated, and it's always nice to have a bit less population, both since there's less competition, but also because there's less risk for gankers. Now this hybrid Gila I think is especially good for doing this high sec stuff, exploration, because it is like pretty strong in its HP per second, but it's also got a big buffer. If you see here, it's got a pretty decent buffer size here. And it's always good to have some buffer when you go up against potential gankers. Like I think, generally speaking, when you're doing this high sec stuff here with a Gila, then it's a lot better to go with some type of buffer tank. Even though the full active tank will give more HP per second, you'll probably be able to tank a lot more. But I don't find that necessary. And also, because the stuff that you find in high sec is anyway not that dangerous, but it's just also a lot more, nice to have a bigger buffer just in case gankers occur. It'll make it a lot harder for them to kill you. I mean, obviously, a big enough gank fleet will kill you, but it'll just make the whole experience a lot easier. Okay, or not easier, but like harder for the gankers to kill you. You can have a big buffer, and you'll be able to, potentially survive longer. All right. So if I were to decide to use this in the T4 Abyss, I would then run it in 1.0 systems, because you can obviously do this in any system. I ran it actually in this system Silepera yesterday, and it went really good. I got some, I think it was 39 million ISK, you can see here, 37 million ISK. That was decent. I think that it'll be very safe though to run this in 1.0 systems, since it'll be a lot less likely that you would have people successfully gank you, since as soon as the gankers start attacking you, they're basically going to instantly die, and since you have a pretty decent buffer, you will hopefully survive. So basically, when I go, this is what I really like with this, is that I'm going around doing exploration, and then when I feel like it, I can just stop and do a Abyss site in a 1.0 system whenever I feel like it. And I think it's just really cool. I love this aspect, the way I'm doing with this Confessor, where I just go around, do Abyss sites when I feel like it, but also do a little bit of exploration aspect when I feel like it as well. I really like it. I mean, it's cool to do T6 farming and get all the crazy ISK, but I find that to be a little bit more stressful, since it's a very expensive ship. You don't want to get gankers killing you and that. And I just think that it's really fun to have the ability to do this kind of stuff, like to have a little bit of variation, because It does get very boring to do the same thing over and over again. Now, I'm actually going to try scanning in a different way than I've done before, because I watched this tutorial video by a guy called Bonkers Y2K. He does a lot of the high-sec exploration stuff in Evo 9, and he basically said that you have to untick all of these to reduce the clutter, and then what you do is you put it on 4AU, and you put, like, if we want to go for this signature right here, we just go put the like box on the closest white dot. So I think that's like a planet. We just put it there, and then apparently it should scan this a lot quicker. I don't know why, but it's just the way it works. Apparently, we're gonna see here. This is the first time I'm ever trying this out. Let's see now. Did it work? No, we didn't even analyze, I think. Or maybe we did. Let's see if it actually scans this down. Because he says that you never need to use more than 4AU. Oh, look, we got something there. You see that? So it seems like it did work. And we just make it a bit smaller. You have to just go on this like smallest white dot, which is like a solar system or planet, initially on the first scan. So now we've got a data site level 2. Okay, we don't want to, can't bother with that. Just to make sure my drones don't take a lot of aggro. We do need these refuges because you can potentially get some of the good escalations from them as well. Okay, we'll go for this white dot over here. See if there's anything from this. I've also packed some augmented drones, 2 hammerheads. They're not particularly expensive, only cost 10 million each. It's a lot better for the Abyss in some ways. Let's see, combat's like, ooh, level 1. Let's see what have we got here. It'll be cool to get a DED site actually here before I even manage to run that 4 out of 10. What do we have here? Serpentis Lookout. Okay, no, it's not that great. Go for this refuge over here. Can recall our core probe launchers. Just wreck all these refuges. Actually, you know, to be honest, I can't really be bothered to go with these refuges. I just want to continue to my DED site. We can do that stuff later. Farming the refuges is obviously a very good thing if you want to get the DED sites, but what I was mainly thinking that this ship would be good for is that if we're going to go for a 5 out of 10. The thing is, though, I have a feeling that we may not have enough tank for 5 out of 10 Serpentis DED site. I don't think it is enough tank, but we'll see. I think it does have the possibility of doing it if we at least play it safely, maybe kite a bit, but I'm not 100% sure if we'll be able to do that. But I think it'll definitely be a fun challenge to eventually find a 5 out of 10 in this, because this will go through like the dens, the Serpentis dens a lot quicker than the Confessor did. I think overall the Confessor is a lot better for like the 4 out of 10s and below, because the 4 out of 10s and below, like the anomalies you do to get them, they have just mainly frigates. So you just have to like pop stuff really quickly, lock stuff up quickly, and get good application. Here we're going to be warping slow with the Gila is a bit bigger. It's going to take us a bit longer to lock stuff up. Overall, even though we have more DPS than the Confessor, I still think that the Confessor does this quite a bit faster. And, you know, we can get to places quicker as well, and we have no issue really with the 4 out of 10. It's mainly, the main bottleneck is just to get the escalations rather than actually running them quickly. But here, I think since we're getting a bit of a, like, heavy weapons we're bringing here, and it'll be better to focus on going for a bit heavier stuff like the dens, because that'll probably be quicker than a Confessor since there's a lot of cruisers there. And also, the Gila will have a more likelihood, I think, to be able to do the 5 out of 10s than if we compare it to, say, for example, a Confessor. I think probably a Confessor would be able to do 5 out of 10 Serpentis. I don't think I've ever done a 5 out of 10 Serpentis, but the thing is, in the Serpentis sites, they tend to be mostly based on, or almost only based on, hybrid turrets, and you can properly speed tank them there. We don't take any damage apart from wrecking shots, but that very rarely happens. Here in the Gila, we're going to have to face tank most of the stuff, but we do have very good thermal tank, and that is a resist type that the Serpentis tend to do. A bit of kinetic and a bit of thermal, but predominantly thermal. So we're going to go here into this system of, where is this site here actually? Our view, that's where, that is actually where the location of the DED site is. So we'll pull out route to there. Alright, so now I'm in the system of our view. I'm going to go and do the Guristas Scout Outpost right here. It's really a chill experience. It's not at all like anything to worry about. Just the Gila just goes straight in. It's just so tanky. But I think it would be very fun to see doing this in the Serpentis Fire Outpost. The Serpentis 4 out of 10s. I think that'll be even more interesting actually, because there's a lot like of potential containers. You got that cave, that container is in a cave, and then you also got that the boss as well. And there's also no more DPS needed there, since you have a lot of cruisers and battle cruisers, etc. in the Serpentis one. So hopefully we'll find a Serpentis 4 out of 10 in due time in the future. And we can potentially do one of those in this ship as well. Let's see also how good the tank fares. So I'm just scanning here in the meantime. Scanning and seeing what is in the local area. These cosmic signatures, you can always have maybe a DED 4 out of 10 somewhere. So here it'll be just a case of me going straight in. I just like this straight in. I'll not even use my Afterburner, because I think it'll just be I think it'll take a little bit longer than just going straight in with Afterburner. I'm going to put drones on the cruisers. Then I'll use my missiles to take out these little small frigates. So we can just do something like this. So we spam these missiles here on the little frigates. Yeah, look how quickly they go down these cruisers. I mean, both cruisers and frigates. I was meaning the frigates right there. Just split. Oh, augmented hammerhead taking a bit of damage. Yeah, the augmented hammerheads are definitely better for the Guristas, since they do also kinetic damage. But I use them also for the Abyss. Take armor damage. Ah, we took armor damage, annoying. Just have these Hammerhead 2s go for the cruisers right there. Lock up all these little frigates. Annoying frigates. Look how many of these guys there are. Can't even unlock these. Don't even need to have them. Yeah, the drones really just absolutely annihilate these cruisers. Look at that. So much quicker than Abyss NPCs. I'll lock up all these cruisers right here. Gila just going straight in. Does not care. Just goes straight in. Can recall that drone taking a bit of damage right there. It's unfortunate that I don't have any more max lock targets, so it would be so nice to be able to have more lock targets to be able to shoot all these guys. That, and split the missiles up a bit there. Take out these little frigates. There's hardly any frigates left. You can even activate our Afterburner actually. Need to get a bit closer now, because we almost destroyed the whole wave and we still got a few kilometers left to go. So almost a full clip of ammunition needed to go through this whole room. And tank absolutely no problem. We're not even using our shield booster. So really delicious. How quickly this goes. It'll be the same thing when it comes to the next wave as well. We'll just go straight in. Do not care at all. Okay. Put some missiles on this pithy wrecker over here. And recall these drones. We don't need to have the drones anymore going here. As soon as they come back, we'll just take the acceleration gate, because we're still aligned. So it'll be good. We'll just be able to go directly without having to do any kind of special alignment. There we go. Boop. We go into the next room. And we'll use the super DPS augmented drones to take out the radiating telescope directly. Let's go straight in for the radiating telescope. Go in, and Afterburner, we could even have the... Just wait a little bit until they've got a bit of aggro going on, because I don't want everyone to focus on my drones. It's going to be so easy. This scout outpost is nothing for the Gila. It's really a 5 out of 10 material, I feel like. Unfortunately, it's not a lot of 5 out of 10s I do, because I hardly ever get them. You get them from dens. I doesn't feel you get them that often either. Oh, they're taking damage? I hope they're not taking damage from them. Okay, that's good. Not taking any damage. I thought the augmented hammerheads were going to take damage for a second. Yeah, they can take some big hits right there. You get them from over as like the 5 out of 10s, you can get them as a escalation from the dens. Pretty aware. And then you can also get them, I think, in scanning and low sec. But I don't think you can get them in scanning and high sec, only low sec. Okay, we'll go towards the radiating telescope. Hopefully Pithum C-type multispectrum shield hardener, Gila BBC, Pithum C-type medium shield booster, and a Pithum C-type EM shield hardener. Oh, the guy taking a bit of damage right here. Recall the drones. We can just finish it off with the missiles we've got going on right here. Just do a little bit of tap with these drones. We don't even need to have that. There we go. Hopefully we get something good. What do we get? Nothing! I knew it! Nothing. It's always like that. No, not always. Sometimes I have got a good loot from this, but it feels like, at least, it's more often than not, get the bad loot from these Guristas scat outposts. So there we go. The T4 hybrid Firestorm Gila doing high-sec exploration. It's pretty decent. I mean, these low tail level stuff is no challenge whatsoever, and I feel like a Confessor would do better as well, because it's just overall a lot faster, like it warps faster, aligns faster, locks up faster, and less DPS, but the only thing really the Gila would do faster is doing the actual 4 out of 10 sites faster, and also potential of doing like DD 5 out of 10s. Otherwise, I like the ability to do T4 Abyss whenever I feel like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.